An hour with you is not wasted.
Aw, thanks. You're welcome. Even though I am a loser pants.
You're not a loser. Welcome to Magical Magnetism. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Anna E., and we give top 10 tips for the modern girl.
Today we are going to share with you the top 10 ways to spread the happy. First on my list is get creative. It can be anything as long as you're getting those parts of your brain working and creating something. It's good for you. Science tells us this. It decreases your feelings of depression and increases the happy. So whether it's baking or writing or vlogging, you can kind of beat the doldrums by doing something that is creative and fun.
Yay! My first tip to encourage the happy is to indulge just a little bit. And whether that means heading over to Starbucks and getting a Frappuccino, or swinging into your local boutiques and buying a little tiny piece of jewelry or a scarf or some, fun socks. Anything that sort of lifts those endorphins just a little bit with that newness of something exciting. I am all about it.
My second tip for encouraging the happy is to buy the fun colors. Being a grown-up requires a fair amount of stuff that can, mostly comes in, boring beiges and blacks and neutrals. But I think that if you're gonna have to buy the mixing bowl, buy the cute one. Buy the one with the fun pattern. Buy the one with the fun colors. If you're gonna have pens in your office, they may as well be pink, or purple, or green,
fountain,
or fountain pens. I do love a fountain pen. Love them. But just, you're gonna have to buy it anyway. Generally, it's around the same price. So just buy the fun stuff. I guarantee you pick up that pen and it'll make you a little happier than if it were just blue or black.
Buying the fun colors is sort of like having a little bit of sunshine in your kitchen or in your office or whatever. Just having that little pop of oomph is another little endorphin boost.
Mm-hmm.
Every time you look at it, it just makes you happy.
Yeah, agreed.
So my second one is writing letters. I received, about a week ago, this fantastic piece of card right here. It came in the mail from my Sarah Cozy, and I opened it on the way back from the mailbox and cried happy tears all over it. Happy, see him right there, happy tear. Writing letters is a great way to spread that joy, that happiness. Knowing that somebody put time and effort and pen to paper and spent money on me to send me something in the mail. In a digital age where texting and email and emoji, and we don't even call each other anymore because it's not that instant gratification. And I feel like writing a letter is just as joyous as receiving a letter, knowing that when I write a letter that somebody's going to feel touched and appreciated and be able to hang on to that forever, for a lifetime. That makes me really just feel really good about it. And I think we talked about handwriting too, that handwriting is,
yeah.
it's just knowing that, I saw the envelope and I knew it was Sarah's. So I knew something amazing was in it, and there are hot air balloons on this. And it's just, there's nothing happier than a card from my Sarah Cozy with hot air balloons on it, for heaven's sake. That's amazing.
And those cards were another source of happy for me because my roommate, Cher, came home and was like, I got you something at Target, and it was these cards. And so
that goes back to indulgence too. You're indulging each other. I love that.
Yeah, so amazing. Happiness all over the place.
Yeah, so much happy.
My third one ties in nicely with the letter writing because I think in order to get the happy, you have to spread the happy. People are much happier when they are more concerned about others than themselves a lot of the time. And this doesn't have to cost you any money. I think we think of spreading the happy as buying someone something or, doing those kinds of things. But it's just really as simple as talking to the people around you in line and helping them out if you can. If I always feel really good. I always pick the line where the person in front of me has umpteen thousand things. I'm a champ at that. I'm so good at it. And I always feel really good and really special when they look back and notice that I only have one or two things and say, hey, why don't you jump on in front? That's so considerate and so kind, and it didn't cost them anything. It really doesn't even cost them all that much time, maybe a minute. And so just that spreading that little bit of happiness is such a good way to feel happy yourself.
and mine ties in perfectly with hers. Mine is paying it forward, and most people think of paying it forward as paying for the person behind them in the Starbucks line. And I don't necessarily mean that. I mean, when you see someone struggling in a grocery store with some kids and some stuff, and she drops the stuff, run over and see if you can help her. Ask first, because sometimes people freak out. Yeah. Ask if you can help. Pick up the things she drops. If you see somebody struggling to reach that top shelf, I, as a tall girl, do that all the time, and it means so much to people. It didn't hurt me to do it. It didn't cost me any time, cost me no money, but I know that it made a difference in that person's life. And if I encourage that person is more likely to encourage somebody else, and there is the spread of happy. And if we're not going to encourage each other, you know, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? And if I take care of those around me, they're far more likely to take care of me in return. And I feel like that is probably the reason we're all here. This is getting a little deeper than I anticipated.
That's okay.
I feel like this is kind of the reason we're all here.
Yeah.
It's
taking care of one another.
Taking care of one another, encouraging each other in life, and making sure that we all understand that we are loved and appreciated, and that we're here. Mm-hmm. We're here to help.
And you don't have to do it, but it's a really lonely life if you don't.
That is true.
Mm-hmm.
That is true. Can you imagine, like, grizzled, hateful old people who don't want to help people, who just see what's right here? Like, those people who never let you in when you're trying to get over and your signal has been on for like 8 minutes and you can't get over in a lane. Don't be that person.
And we can all put on our judgy pants right now and say that person should have gotten over sooner. But you know what? We have all been the person in that car, and it may be because we didn't know where we were going, or we didn't see the sign, or for the past 15 miles, no one will let you over.
Because they were all jerk faces, angry,
Yeah.
bitter, hateful jerk faces.
Yeah.
Don't be that guy.
Yeah, don't do it.
Don't be that guy.
Be better. My next one is call your mom. And it may not be your mom for you, but calling my mom makes me feel the best about my life that I possibly ever could. And I have two of the greatest parents in the world. And I was like maybe in college before I realized that everybody's parents didn't think they were awesome. I just thought that came with parent territory. But I am very lucky because my mom and dad just kind of all the time think I'm awesome, whether I am or not. So I just love calling my mom, and she gives me good perspectives and good advice on things, and always helps me to see things. She always tells me, don't go borrow in trouble.
It's very felonious of
Yeah.
her.
Mm-hmm. And so whoever that is for you, figure it out in your life, whether it's your spouse or your best friend or a neighbor or, coworker, sibling. Have that person who, when you just are with them, you feel good, because we all need those people in our lives.
So my fourth one is put on pants. Get dressed when you're feeling blue or the mean reds, as Holly Golightly says. Just put on some pants. Get on a cute skirt, put on a dress, something that makes you feel good. You don't even have to leave the house. Just, brush your hair, get a shower, sort of try to get your juices going, trick your body into thinking that you are getting ready to do some cool stuff. Mm-hmm. And that has worked for me. I cannot tell you how many times. My middle school and high school days were all spent, I was on hospital homebound. I was super sick. Long story. But on the days that I felt good enough and motivated enough to actually get dressed, to brush my hair, to wash my face, to put on a little mascara, I felt 1,000 times better. There's something about knowing that you look presentable. If somebody rang the doorbell, I could answer that. It just made you feel a lot better. So that is my fourth thing. Put some pants on.
My final one is have a positivity posse. There's so much negative and bad junk in the world, and I feel like we get told a lot through reality TV and the media and whoever, you can blame whoever you want. But that the best way to bond with people is over this sort of shared meanness and cynicism. But I have found in my 30 years that it is actually the exact opposite. When you surround yourself with people who are always griping and always bashing others and always doing those kinds of things, you feel like junk.
It does. It weighs you down.
Yeah, it's awful. And so I think that we should all make an effort to surround ourselves with people who make us happy and make us joyful and speak kindly, and do pay it forward and do try and spread the happiness. So I would encourage you to form your positivity posse particularly if you're a teenage girl watching this, middle school and high school are rough. And if you are around people who are going to act ugly, ugly is as ugly does, and
That's my new favorite saying. Ugly is as ugly does.
Also, my Nana would say Jesus doesn't like ugly.
And he doesn't.
He doesn't.
That's not his thing.
I feel like that's a very Southern expression. Jesus doesn't like ugly, but
but it's true.
Yeah.
I feel like he probably does not.
yeah. So just surround yourself with people who are about making you feel good and making other people feel good, because it has made. When I figured that out, and when I started amassing friends who did that, it made all the difference in the world. And
Makes you feel light.
oh
Makes
gosh,
you feel
it does.
Well, because if you surround yourself with positive people who don't talk negatively about other people around you, they're far less likely to talk negatively about you to other people.
Mhm.
And I'm all about that.
Me too.
My last tip is my favorite thing that I still do on the regular, really, and that's to get outside. Get out the door. And if that is just to your back porch, fine. If it's a cold and rainy day, also fine. Just get outside. There's something about breaking down your normal barriers, your normal walls. You know, we're in the car, we're in school, we're in the classroom, we're in the office. Like, we're sitting in front of the TV or the computer or your iPhone or whatever. Just put it all down and walk outside. If it's just to walk to the mailbox, that's fine. My favorite thing right now is to go to this tiny little bird sanctuary that's about 10 minutes from my house, and my boyfriend and I will go there right before dusk, and we'll wait for the beaver to come out, and we'll just sit there and we'll watch the beaver have his dinner. That's what we do. And it is the greatest way to end the week and to start the next week. It feels so good to know that there is nature and there are things that are happening that are so not connected with you and your electronics and your world that it really puts things in perspective. So those were our top 10 tips for spreading the happy. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe.
Join us next week for more tips for the modern girl.